monitor. I know every time I look up, I apologize, you guys, if we're showing up on your screen green, but that's what we're seeing on our monitor, and we can't seem to do anything about it from this end. So hopefully when you're watching this, we're actually a normal color. So enjoy the clip.
All right.
And he is the best dressed firewalker I've ever seen in my life. Looked like, as I said, an investment banker.
Can we look at the bottoms of your feet?
It's been a while since we've had a call for bare feet on our program.
My wife said, wash your feet. They may ask you to show your feet.
This is kerosene. Because we're doing this during the day, you can't see how deep red and orange these glowing coals are. And so I'm going to throw a little kerosene on here so that your viewers can appreciate the fact that this is very, very hot.
All right, fine. Wow.
Oh, here goes Tolle. Here goes Tolle. Okay.
It has less to do with the fire beneath their feet and more to do about the fire that burns within their soul. Now, a lot of companies out there, Coke, Microsoft, MetLife, are all starting to use firewalking to get their employees to challenge themselves.
Real estate salespeople like Rich Levinson have come to this RE/MAX seminar for tips on how to increase sales. Burkans says if you can walk on fire, selling houses is easy.
What I do is I inspire people to use more of their potential.
All right. What real estate agent breaks boards with his bare hands? Tolle shows them they can. Then Burkan ups the danger ante by having salespeople snap an arrow with their neck.
Yes! Now they're starting to realize it may be possible to do some of these things that I believed were impossible to do. Let's rake out these coals.
For 30 years, he's trained people to firewalk as a transformational tool and a way to combat fear. Before you learn to walk on hot coals, you have to learn to walk on broken glass.
Walking on glass teaches you only one thing: how to pay attention. When you step on the glass, you don't want to put your weight down until you first pay attention to what's going on underneath the sole of your foot. It's not like walking on the fire. When you walk on the fire, there's only one thought in your mind, and that is getting off.
The bed of hot timber coals is about 1,100 degrees Fahrenheit. Some physicists say that firewalking is possible because, unlike metal, timber coals are poor conductors of heat. But whatever the explanation, the dangers are very real.
People have been seriously injured. Do not try this at home.
So can you use fear to conquer fear? These people say yes.
What I'm trying to do is exploit the mystery of the mind. And if you can use your mind to walk across coals and not burn your feet, what other things can you do with your mind?
Thomas Chadwick longs to become a firewalk instructor, so he's come here to be trained by expert firewalker Tolle Burkan. But before Chadwick and others walk on fire, Burkan first confronts his workshop participants with other equally scary challenges.
You realize that you're someone who can break a brick with your bare hand. You start realizing who you really are. When I put my hand through this brick, I am giving myself power, courage, intention.
My hand just went through it. Like it
Have you
wasn't
ever
there.
broken a brick before?
No.
And how do you feel for having just broken a brick with your bare hand?
Empowered.
1,250 degrees Fahrenheit. Most of us, all our lives, have believed that fire will burn us. And then we do something that we thought was impossible, and we start realizing there may be other things that I'm not doing just because I think it's impossible. Yes, 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 yes. The fire becomes a metaphor for every fear in your life. And if you're able to step through the membrane of fear and walk out into the coal bed, you'll recognize that membrane of fear standing between you and asking for a raise, and you'll remember what you did at the firewalk, and you'll be able to step through that membrane of fear again and again. And after a fire walk, you start realizing that who you thought you were is actually too small, that you're a much bigger person capable of doing far more magnificent things than you ever dreamed possible. And people have been empowered by fire walking and have been able to attain goals they never dreamed they could ever attain.
It has definitely changed my life. And just to think that the things that I thought I would never be able to do.
When you look at the flames and the hot coals and you feel the heat radiating back at you, if you can rise above the fear to take that first step, then you need to just carry on and go. A lot of times it's our inner chatter, or what if, or you can't, or you aren't. And those kinds of sentences serve to drag us down. And if we select only empowering thoughts, then we become empowered.
If a person has believed all their life that they couldn't walk on fire, in just one evening, I've changed that person's life forever.
Cool, soft, slow.
If you imagine right now that you're sucking on a lemon, even though there's no lemon here, I'll bet you had some kind of an experience in your mouth. It's because every cell in your body is connected to a nerve, which is connected to the brain, which is influenced by the mind. So it's not mind over matter, it's literally mind in matter.
As soon as you believe that you can do this without burning your feet, you have the confidence to take that first step. As soon as you walk into the fire with a belief that you're not going to burn your feet, you are in a different physiological state than the person who thinks they're going to get burned.
This is 50 pounds of broken glass. I broke pickle jars and wine bottles. And if you go very slowly and you pay attention, you don't put your weight down until you're sure that you're being supported by all the points and edges. And if there's one very sharp spike, you just flip it over on its side. And this gives people an actual experience of what it means to pay attention 100%. Because you can be sure right now that I am definitely paying attention to what's going on with the bottoms of my feet. And I've done this with thousands of people, and not one person has been cut. Hi, Shelley. I'm Tolle.
Hi, Tolle. Nice to
and
meet
let
you.
me explain what we have here. These are arrows. They are real arrows. And if you want to hold one up for your camera, you can see that there's a point.
It's sharp.
And
I just touched it.
What we're going to do is, I'll let you hold this one. I'm going to put this arrow in the very softest part, this V in my throat right here. I'm going to put the other end against the wall, and I'm going to push as hard as I possibly can. Now, when you do this, you're likely to notice there's going to be a little voice going through your head, and in a moment we're going to look at that voice. But first, let me demonstrate how it's done. You put the feathered end against the wall, and then you push as hard as you can, and instead of being impaled, the arrow will snap. Now, the only thing that stops people from doing this is fear, because they're afraid they're going to hurt themselves.
I was afraid the wall was going to fall.
And I want to assure you, I've done this also with thousands of people, and nobody has been impaled by the arrow. And so, put one end against the wall.
Wait. Are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah, I want to do it.
Okay.
Okay, now put the arrow
Why
against...
do you want to do this?
Okay, well,
Because I do have the fear, so.
Now, we're going to put the feathered end against the wall.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to give her a break.
Now, before you push, Shelley, tell everybody, what are you thinking right now?
I'm hoping I don't get stabbed by this.
Okay, now, this is very important. As soon as you start holding pictures in your mind of getting stabbed, it's going to rip you off. You don't want to push 100% if you're holding that thought in your mind. So what thoughts can you hold right now that would enable you to go 100% and push against the wall?
That I will break the arrow.
I will break the arrow.
You can do it.
I can. I must.
Can you help her get it in the right part of her neck?
Okay.
I don't want to take any chances here,
All right,
Tolle.
put it right there. Put one foot ahead of the other so you've
step
got
out
a
of the
nice,
way.
strong base. And if you feel a little pinch, just keep pushing. The arrow will break.
Can I help her push from the back here?
No, I suggest you let her do it
count
herself.
or anything?
No, you do it on your own schedule here.
Big breath. Oh,